Hey guys, welcome to today's video. We are going to be doing a makeup tutorial today. I'm going to show you my everyday makeup. A lot of the time my foundation changes, but I'm going to show you the gist of it today. So I've already done my skincare. I cleansed my skin with the Indie Brightening Cleanser, and then I put a little bit of her CQ10 toner. I love this stuff. I use it all the time. And then I'm gonna moisturize my skin with the Tatcha water cream. It's my favorite. It's nice and lightweight, and I also like that I can layer heavier products on top so I can get that nice dewy skin without putting too many like greasy products on my skin, if you will. So I do that first. Start with the drier areas first and then work your way on the nose and all of that, because you still want to add hydration to the nose, just not too much. We don't want to get oily throughout the day. Then I'm going to use my Josie Marin Spf, and this one is more emollient, so it's going to have like that greasy feel to it. But again, I do like that layering over the water cream, because the water cream is so light that this doesn't feel too bad when I go over, and it gives me that glow, so I really like this. And I always focus it where I'm super duper dry, which is around my mouth. And I always feel like if I have any acne on my jawline or anywhere around my mouth, I always make sure to hydrate it really nicely, because that takes away the texture from it, and then your skin doesn't look like as bumpy. I hope that makes sense. So after I apply the SPF, I always let that one sink in a little bit more, because if I don't, I feel like it mixes in with my foundation. It could just be me being crazy, but I feel like it does. So I let that sit for like a minute while I went to go help Luna with something, and now I'm going to apply it's actually a serum. It's from Indie also. I really love this. This is my second one I think I've purchased, and it lasts a long time. It's a really good price point. Keeps my eyes nice, under eyes nice and hydrated, and then also has anti-fatigue properties. So it helps to depuff the eye also, which I really, really like. Okay, and these are a few of the foundations that I use on a regular basis. I am always like making concoctions, or I don't know, I'm just using a different base. Sometimes I just use concealer as my base. It really just depends on how I'm feeling on that day. So today I think I'm feeling like a glowy base, and then maybe some concealer just over the redness. My skin doesn't look too bad. Like, I do have that little spot and like some red spots over here, but I think just a little bit of concealer for today sounds good to me. I might use the Rare Beauty. I'm not sure. We'll see what's poppin' with that. Okay, so before any base, I'm going to add the Hollywood Flawless Filter by Charlotte Tilbury. This is amazing, especially if you're dry in any areas. Just pop it on those areas and you're gonna be good to go. I do love the glow that this gives. So I'm gonna apply this first. Where's my nail? Here it is. So I'm gonna apply it to my hand, and then I pick it up like that. And I pick up all the product and get it into the bristles, and then I put it onto my skin. I start with my cheekbones. Anywhere I'm dry, I'm always dry around my mouth. I always want to, again, hydrate any spots or acne that I have, because it's gonna help your makeup lay nicer on those breakouts, and not as like chunky and so not so chunky and not so textured is what I mean by chunky. So now that we have that on the skin, I'm going to take the first concealer, which is the Rare Beauty. This one is closest to my skin tone, like my actual skin tone. So I'm going to use that first to conceal any redness and my blemishes that I have on this side. And then we'll blend it out. Okay, so I have applied the Rare Beauty all over, and you can see it just gave me like a nice even base. Now I'm gonna take, I applied that with a brush, but now I'm taking a beauty blender and I'm gonna take the Makeup Forever HD concealer. I don't know why I'm starting now. I'm gonna put a little bit under there. And this one is more for highlighting, so we're putting it under the eyes. And this is like the second lightest. Because there's a lighter one that we're gonna put on after this, so stay with me. Okay, now we have a nice highlight to the under eyes and to the skin. I'm gonna go one more time with a shade lighter. This is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin in 2.3. And I'm gonna put this on my hand first and put some under my eye to make it a little bit brighter. Right there. Take the rest on the center, in the center. Make sure you get around the nose. It's such a big pet peeve of mine to see like foundation line in here or under the nose. Awesome. So now I'm using the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Medium Dark 3. So you can tell it's a lot deeper than my skin tone. Yeah, I got this idea from Jamie Genevieve from YouTube. So I'm gonna put it on my hand like this, and then instead of taking my beauty sponge, I'm gonna take this brush from Sephora. This is amazing for contour. The shape of it is perfect. I pick up the color and then just stamp it on my face and then blend upward. Like that. And then I continue around the forehead. I have a pretty big forehead, so I like to go ham with the bronzer up here, but you don't have to, especially if you've got a smaller. So yeah, if you have a smaller forehead, you don't have to go too crazy with the bronzer like I do, but I really like to put the bronzer all over. And then I love this brush because you just kind of pounce it on the skin and it blends everything out so easily. I was saying I like to put some on my eye right here and just kind of blend upward. I feel like it gives you like a nice glowy halo. So we've got that, and then I'll put some on the bottom. A jawline on the bottom. On my jawline. Looks good. And then I'm getting creasing under my eyes, so we'll set that in a second, but I want to add just a teensy bit more. I put a little bit on my nose, if you can tell. I'm going to go around the edges right here. Just a teensy bit to kind of tie that back, or take that back, I'm sorry. And then we're going to pounce out the creases. And today I'm going to set with, okay, today we're setting the under eye with my Makeup Forever. Normally I don't do pressed powder, but Makeup Forever does really good pressed powder that sits well under the eye. Normally I would say stay away from pressed powder under the eye because it tends to look really heavy, but this one actually isn't bad. So I'm going to take a little bit on my pointy brush. And I like a yellow powder. It's my favorite. I'm going to put that everywhere I put my highlight. Anywhere I feel like is too dewy, I'll apply that there. And then that's it. You don't want to apply it anywhere else because you haven't applied your thing. We haven't applied our powder bronzer on top of the cream bronzer, so we're going to do that next. I'm going to take, I think I'm just going to take an angled brush today and my bronzer, which is pretty much done for. We're going to apply that on top of what we did with the cream. And this is just going to help the cream last longer on the skin and then adds more dimension. Down the neck. Okay, now in the crease. Okay, so I applied bronzer to my crease of my eye, And then I also applied my contour shade to my nose, which is the Bahama Mama from The Balm. It's one of my favorites. Now I'm gonna put on some highlight, Wet n Wild highlight. This is one of my favorites. Very Broken in the shade, I have no idea. So I'll take a little bit of that. It's very pretty, very natural. And it's like $4.99, so that's a deal right there. So I let my contour powder sit for a second, and then I'm going to take some more of the Makeup Forever powder, and I'm going to push that into the bristles, and then push it on the side of my nose, and kind of do a swirly motion so that I can blend out that contour so it doesn't look too harsh. Like that. And the tip of the nose. Awesome. And then I'm going to add some right here. You can see it just didn't look even right here. Now it looks a little bit more even, a little bit more matte in that area, which I like because I tend to get a little bit greasy there. Nice. Then at the end, I'm going to take another powder and kind of skim everything. Give me 1 second. I'm going to see what I'm going to do next. Maybe my eyebrows. Yeah, so I think I'm going to do my eyebrows now. I'm going to do the Brow Styler from Benefit. I like this because it just has a doe foot and some powder. So I usually put that through the brows, and I start at the very end because a good amount of product will come out on your eyebrow. So just make sure you start where you have the least amount of hair and then work your way to wherever you're a little bit more sparse, which is in the front for me. And this is just a fast brow. That's why I like this. It's very easy, quick, just to get a nice brow on and then get out the door, because that's usually what my plan is. It also might be the sound that I like. It's a little bit ASMR-y. Okay, now I'm going to take Clear Brow Gel from Anastasia. This is my favorite, maybe like my 4th tube of it. It's the only one I use. Oh, actually, I usually let that stuff sit in my eyebrows a little bit for a moment to like grab onto the hair and to the skin and all that. But today I just went full in. Whoops. The only reason why I like to do that is because the powder that I just put on tends to kind of get stuck. Like it gets a little bit goopy because of the gel. So, but it looks fine. I like it. I like fluffy brows. This is how I do it. They're not the exact same, but you know, that's just how it goes. And then later I might take like the Sephora Collection eyebrow pencil, which is amazing, by the way. And I have a bunch of them. They're all broken or not open fully. So yeah, I might take a little bit of this in a minute once this dries down, and just take a little bit more down here, make it a little bit fluffier, and then just make this line a little bit more like defined. But that's really all I do, and I like the tops to look fluffy and wild, so I'll leave the tops like that. I always brush them backwards. I don't know if you noticed. And then let's see, what else do we need? I think I'm just gonna do my easy eye. I always do like a wash of peach or orange inside the crease, and then I'm gonna take this color from the Rare Beauty palette, the orange, and then I'm gonna put that on the lid. So let's do that really quick. This is one of my favorite palettes. This is Urban Decay Born to Run. I don't know if you can still get it. I think you can online, but it's amazing. It has a bunch of jewel tones in it. A bunch of mine have fallen out. This is really old. I got it from a friend. I'm going to use this one. I love this color. And then I also use these oranges and then these here. These were green. I think there was like a few more browns and then like some darker pink tones. So this is a really good palette. It's very versatile, as they say. You can do a lot with it, and the quality is just, I mean, come on, it's Urban Decay, but yeah, just the color payoff is so beautiful. They're so easy to work with. Like, look at that. I just slapped it on my eye, ready to go with the eyelid color. I just need a little bit of this in the crease just to tie it all together. Oh shoot, I had to switch angles. So we're at a different angle. I put a little bit of the color from this palette underneath the eye, just what was left on the brush. I always like to bring it out a little bit to give myself a little bit of a elongated eye. And then I went over with the shade from the Rare Beauty palette, which is the pretty peachy shade in here. My palettes are a hot mess. Okay, now I'm gonna take, oh, I put that on the lid. Did I say that? I'm gonna take this palette, Carly palette, and I use my palette, here we go. I use this shade for my eyebrows sometimes, but today I'm gonna use it for my freckles. And then I use this brush. It's a Tarte brush. Oh my gosh, my hand. So I've just applied 2 of the freckles. One of them was a pimple. And the one that I always do is right here. I made it really big today. Whoops. And then I do my nose, which I already have one there, but I just darken it. And then I like to do just a few little freckles on my nose. Like that. And throughout the day they'll fade away and they don't look as prominent, so I'm not too crazy about like having them blended out or whatever, because they tend to just kind of go away. And then we're gonna skim another powder over top of this, so that kind of takes them away also. What are we doing next? Okay, next I'm gonna take my favorite, one of my favorite mascaras. This one's one of my favorites. And then for a clean version, clean ingredients, I would say the Ilia is amazing. So okay, so I finished this one. I just did like a baby coat on this eye, and I'm gonna get some more. Always swirl your mascara, ladies, unless you want to add air into there. Sometimes I do, because I want my mascara to be a little bit thicker. Like when you first get it, you know how like the first use is kind of lame? If you pump it a few times, it'll add some air into the bottle, and then it'll dry it out just a teensy bit. I like this because it builds in a really dark lash easily and quick. Whereas the Ilia, you really have to sit there and build, but I really do like the effect that the Ilia gives. It's very similar to this one. I like a thick lash. I don't like them too spidery, but I do like something very thick and voluminous. All right, so that is the eyelashes. Okay, for blush today, I'm gonna use this eyeshadow. I've been really digging it. This one here, the peachy shade, I'm gonna use that on my cheeks. I'm also gonna use this first. This is by e.l.f. It's a little blush and highlight palette. I'm not a huge fan of this, but when I use my Urban Decay setting spray and then go over with this, it works okay, so I'm gonna use it. Let's spray. I like to spray away from the middle of my face, but it doesn't always work. The other one was a little bit darker, so this gives me like a pop that the other one didn't. But I like the base color of the other one. Looking fresh. Now we're gonna do lips. Now I'm taking my favorite lip pencil. This is Makeup Forever in 600 Anywhere Caffeine. I use this one first. Then just mush it together a little. This one from Milani. This one is from the Shoop collection. To take the Milani one and just skim like the top area, make this line a little bit more defined. Do the same thing to this side. I could add a little more. Just get that like crisp line. Just make it more clean. Here we go. Brush it out. There we go. Okay, and I think I'm done. Hang on. Okay, please excuse how light my body is. This is the finished look. It's very nice and natural, glowy. I love it. Everyday makeup. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.